Hello FJA students, Mr. Jeffries here with another installation of math notebooks. For today, we will be doing absolute value, an entry into our notebook, so go ahead and write that at the top of your page. The other materials that you will need are this sheet here, came with your packet, this sheet as well. Finally, we're going to use one of those envelopes, so get one of those ready. Let's set these aside. You're going to need your notebook, some glue, pencil, and scissors. For this activity, you might also need a pen at some point, and I'll show you where to use that. Just don't use it for everything, only where I show you. All right, so first things first, let's do some cutting. You'll notice we had doubles of both of these papers, so you only need to cut out one of each. So we've set aside all of our little cards for right now. They're going to end up in our envelope, and we'll get to those later. But for now, the first thing that we need to do is fold along this line, put glue, fold along that line there, put glue right here, and then glue it down. All right, so we've glued this down right here below our top. Inside here, I am now going to write the absolute value of a number is the distance from 0 on a number line. So write that down with me. Next, I'm going to write absolute value is always positive, and I'm going to just do that in pen. So the way that we mark absolute value, the way we know we're trying to find absolute value of a number, is we put it in between two straight lines. So if I do this, put an 8 in the middle, that means I'm asking for the absolute value of 8. This one's pretty easy. 8 is 8 numbers from a number line, so I'm going to put 8 here. But what is the absolute value of negative 14? Well, that's asking how many places, or how much is the distance in integers from 0 on the number line is 14. Well, negative 14 is what we're looking at. The answer is 14. So let's visualize this on a number line really quickly. I am going to draw a number line and on my paper here, so follow along and do that on yours as well. All right, so for some notes to use right under this, I'm going to make a star here and write, your answer will always be a positive number because you are counting how many places from 0. Second, we're going to write, if the absolute value sign contains a numerical expression, solve first and then find the absolute value. And I'll explain after we've written this down. So let's consider really quickly an easy expression. So remember, an expression is more than a number. Let's say we're going to look at negative 2 plus 5. So the absolute value signs, remember, are these straight up and down lines. So let's say we're going to evaluate negative 2 plus 5. What this note is telling us is that since within the absolute value sign, these two straight lines, we have a numerical expression, first we must solve this and then we'll find the absolute value. Okay, so for this one, negative 2 plus 5, I could rewrite that and I could solve it as 5 minus 2, because we have a positive 5 and a negative 2, and we're adding them together, and that's going to be 3. So this equals 3, and we still have that absolute value sign, and so the answer will be 3. 3 has an absolute value of 3. Now, had we solved this and the answer in here was negative, the absolute value would be positive because absolute value is always positive. For our next step, we're just going to do a little bit of practice. And so on your envelope right up here, and maybe do this in pen as well, I'm going to write absolute value and then sort cards. All right, so let's flip our page really fast. And on the back of here, basically what we're going to do is we are going to evaluate the absolute value of these problems here. And so I know this looks kind of interesting here, but this isn't a 1. A 1 for these cards looks like this one, the digit 1 with that little line coming diagonally off the top. So anytime you see the straight up and down line, what we're doing here is we're looking for the absolute value. So what this question is saying is absolute value of 32 plus absolute value of -6. And so what I'm going to do here is write this down. Absolute value 32 plus absolute value of -6. And then my first step right underneath it is I'm going to convert this into absolute value. So the absolute value of 32 is 32. And then we're going to add to that the absolute value of -6, which, of course, is 6. And so 32 plus 6 is 38. And so we are going to find our matching card. Oh, it's right there. So we're going to put these together. And then for the rest of this notebook entry, I would like you all to not only solve these problems, finding the absolute values and evaluating these expressions, but I would like you to get a parent or a sibling and explain to them how you are solving each of those expressions. So you're going to continue to solve them until you have them all matched and written down on this page opposite your absolute value. Once you're done, store these in your envelope for a later date. You could tape it into your notebook. In fact, I'm going to do that right here at the bottom of my page here. I'm just going to tape this down. You could glue it as well if you would like. So it stays there, and then you will have this in order to be able to review it in the future if you need a freshening up on absolute value. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and good luck with all your math. Peace.